The Auburn Tigers add a stud to the 2025 class.
Freezing temperatures are likely for several hours inland and a few hours closer to the coast.
Yes.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Joining me for a little Charlie Tuesday action is Auburn message board legend, Charlie 5. And as we record this, moments after Auburn picks up class of 2025 defensive end / edge, Jakaleb Faulk, younger brother of our sweet prince Keldrick Faulk. And the 2025 class gets a little beefier on defense. Let's just call it what it is.
Yes, sir. I never get to do these. No one ever commits on a Monday night. It never happens. It's always weekend, Fridays. I never get the fun stuff. Boom. Not only do I get a good a commit to talk about, but you get Jakaleb, JJ Faulk, whatever, however he goes by. Gigantic frame on this kid at 16 years old. He's just starting his junior year, and he's like 6'4", 230. Like, this guy's going to easily be a 6'4", 6'5", 250, 260 kid. He's listed as an outside linebacker right now, but heck, who knows where he's going to – I mean, just like his brother, who knows where he'll be by the time his senior year rolls around or the end of his senior year.
Right.
Just another freakishly big athletic guy. He plays wide receiver on his high school team, and he plays –
Can you imagine being a corner having to cover this kid?
Yeah, in that classification of football, I mean –
Unbelievable. Yeah.
He was playing he has a film of him doing like a crackback block from their jamboree game this past weekend where he just absolutely – I think the kid vaporized when he hit him. It was just – man, just what a good – we're lucky that the Faulks have just a superhuman bloodline. And
that's right.
These gigantic children. And we got Keldrick in. Now you got JJ. Leaves you a really good chance to get JJ's teammate. I think it's their cousin, CJ May, who is another 6'3", 6'4", 220, 230 guy. You just kind of keep adding these big athletic bodies. It's time. It feels good. It feels good.
Yeah,
man.
Let's get all the large children from Highland home, please. Just come on whenever you want to join the Auburn Tigers. But I mean, it's always interesting, how to handle these commitments that are so far out. But you got to feel like the fact that his brother is currently here, it has to help you hold on to his commitment, right? I mean, because Auburn's kind of been burned by these dudes that commit way too early, and we'll see what happens now that Auburn has two members of the 2025 class. But when you look at what this guy could be, just by looking at his brother and what he already is, like, there's just so much to like about, okay, he's got that Faulk bloodline. How special can he be? But I just love that he can kind of do anything. Like, he can do anything you want. You talk about him playing wide receiver. With that size that he's already got, you could keep him at jack. You could keep him an outside linebacker. You could beef him up to play the 3 technique. And I just think that this staff really values versatility. And I just think that, that's the best way to maximize anything out of, a roster spot, especially when the transfer portal's around and you just don't know what all is going to be happening around you. Having a guy that, in theory, and similar to Keldrick, right? Keldrick could play jack or defensive end. Could JJ Faulk in the future play defensive end, jack, 3 technique? I mean, that's just so valuable. That's so valuable to have in the SEC and any level of football. And Auburn picks up another guy, just a total football player.
How has Highland Home lost a football game in the past 2 years? That's what I want to know. You got when you got Keldrick, JJ, and CJ May all on the same team, like, holy cow. Can you imagine how dominant they could probably be at times? But no, I'm with you. I like any person, any athlete that you can get that's over 6'3", over 220. Give me a team full of them, especially on defense. And then the ability, the you've already, like I said, we've already seen how Keldrick blossomed and exploded into a 6'5", 280-pound monster. This kid could be right there too. Or he could just maintain at 6'4", 230 and be a stand-up linebacker. I mean, he could be that. He's that athletic. So versatility, love it. And then go ahead and get 2025 going. With signing day in December now, even though it's only 2 months earlier, it just seems like kids are committing early, and it's not that big of a deal to go. I mean, it's a big deal to go ahead and get on board, because with the portal, claiming spots, things like that, you're starting to see a lot of kids sort of get that ball rolling and get those decisions made earlier.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And so now, just staying on the topic of recruiting, who do you think could be next to pop for the Auburn Tigers to keep this positive momentum going? Because we're about to see a lot of these dudes commit. A lot of these guys want to commit before their season starts. Usually it's their senior season. With JJ, it's to start before his junior season, which is nice. We'll take it. But who do you think's next, Charlie Five?
So the one we obviously are going to have our eyes on are the next two Saturdays. You got Zaquan Patterson going this Saturday, 5-star safety from South Florida. And then you got, is it DeAndre Carter, I believe, from California, be our first offensive lineman of the class, and a big size-wise and big recruiting ranking-wise. Those two guys, I think, are probably going to be the next to have your eyes on, unless another possible 2025 guy were to pop between now and then. I don't think there's necessarily anything scheduled, but I think we like where we sit with both of them. Could have 2 big Saturdays back to back coming up.
Are you concerned at all with losing out on Kamarion Franklin?
I mean, you hate to lose a 5-star lineman. Like, look, it seemed like he was one of 2 defensive linemen that we circled that were like, we got to get one or the other. And, Ole Miss did what they had to do to make it, as close as they could, because I think deep down he probably wanted to stay home. But, when you had, NIL and whatnot pulling from different directions, if Ole Miss could ever just get their stuff together and get it close, it was going to be tough. And then you have the state law in Mississippi, where I believe they can go ahead and start taking NIL payments from the school they're committed to. I think that's probably going to change in Alabama here pretty soon, so we can take advantage of that too. But yeah, it sucks. I don't have any doubt, though. The good feeling is I'm sure there's a plan. There's going to be a pivot. We saw it with Jalewis Solomon. Different ways that we can turn on a dime and go after somebody else. There's guys like the Waller kid who's committed to Florida, LJ McCray, all these different dudes. You're going to have to probably pull off some flips to get some some of the more higher ranked kids, but there could be, those diamonds in the rough too that blossom late in their senior year that you could pick up too. Recruiting rankings are going to change a lot too between now and then. So, we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's pivot away from recruiting and talk about this year's football team, specifically Shane Hooks. Can he be a 1,000-yard receiver? We discuss that next right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show, Charlie 5, brought to you by our friends at Active Wealth Management. Our boy, Ford Stokes, wrote the book, Annuity 360, and he wants all Auburn fans to make serious bank so we can all gift on to victory and be very, very successful, or just enjoy your retirement, because that's obviously important too. He wants to give you this book for free. All you have to do is go to annuity360.net for a free book. Who's on the cover?
Benjamin Thomas Franklin. I don't know if that's the name.
There we go. Your thoughts on Active Wealth Management, real quick.
I like to be active, and I like wealth, and I like Benjamin Franklin, and I like to have a lot of Benjamin Franklins, and I want to have more at the end of when I get to that retirement age. And I think this is the way you got to go. I'm
with you, man.
Annuities.
I am with you. All right. Yeah. So be sure to head over to annuity360.net for Ford's free book. Also, activewealth.com. BetterHelp.com. Charlie 5. Shane Hooks put on a show this past Saturday. And look, I talked to somebody that said, hey, we all saw the video of his one-handed catch in the back of the end zone, which is great.
Boy, did we.
Watched it several times. They gave us several angles. It was wonderful. But talked to folks that were there. Said that wasn't even his best catch of the scrimmage.
Wow.
And it's really hard to process that information when you hear it for the first time. So I'm going to say it one more time. People there are saying that wasn't even the best catch of the scrimmage. Apparently he was in double or triple coverage, which, Peyton, why are you throwing that football? But whatever. But still went up and mossed some folks. And so that's encouraging. That's encouraging. Auburn needs somebody to step up. Shane Hooks is doing it at the right time. But the question remains, Charlie 5. Can Shane Hooks reach 1,000 yards this season?
Well, just in the very few series that he had over 100 yards receiving in the scrimmage. So you extrapolate that over a whole season. He's got all the tools. He's got enough speed. He's got clearly has the physicality to go win those one-on-one balls when he may not be able to get the separation. And right now, the biggest thing is he's got a quarterback who's got enough faith in him that will put it up in some tight windows or have confidence in going at him whenever it's a 50-50 type situation. Go ahead.
Can I talk about the throw just for a second?
Yes.
Because I got asked, why does nobody want to comment on the overthrow? Because he had to go up and get it. Whenever you throw into the end zone, if you're throwing to the front of the end zone, you want the ball to be low. If you're throwing to the back of the end zone, you need it to be high, or you're going to throw an interception. You're going to turn the ball over. So
it's either incomplete or
yeah. Did you want him to throw it lower? That's such a weird thing to me. He was in the back of the end zone, which added to the beauty of it all. But yeah, you want Peyton Thorne to throw it high. Like, that's such a weird complaint from people that I saw yesterday. Like, what are y'all talking about?
And it wasn't like it was a 5-yard pass either. So like that's true. It was a longer pass over them. I mean, it was not just like it was a short dump off too that he was just high on. Look, I don't want to get into quarterback battles, but right now we're talking about Shane freaking Hooks.
Thank you.
Who is 6'4", 200 pounds, and he is going to go over 1,000 yards this year. In 3 or 4 series, he went over 100. Quarterback trusts him. He's got incredible hands. I don't feel like we've had a guy like this in a while. I'm pumped that I think we finally have.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who's that?
He reminds me of Duke Williams.
He's got a lot of Duke Williams quality.
The size, he moves he carries his weight so well, and he's not afraid of contact and going to get the football. I mean, I think Duke Williams is a good comp.
And he could fight you just at any minute, which
that's true.
Which I love. I personally, I want him to have a rap sheet. I like my receivers to be hardcore. I want him to go after and get people, be physical, be mean. I want that. Let's go.
I mean, I want DBs to be a little uncomfortable to talk smack to them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, we always talk about how the defensive backs are the ones mouthing off and all that, which is fine. I think that's a good thing. I wish, I want my DBs mouthing off to folks. But when you talk about Shane Hooks, like, I just don't want to I don't want to tackle him.
No.
I don't want to go up against him. So
I'm so worried about him embarrassing me that it's going to affect how I defend this route. I'm not fearing about the actual play. It's like, what is he going to say to me after he catches this ball on me? How bad is he going to embarrass me? Like, that's the kind of things that I feel like DBs that's going to be going through their head.
Yeah. All right. So you think Shane Hooks leads Auburn in receiving yards this year? You think he's wide receiver 1?
I think after he's gotten over I think he had a little foot or leg thing early, something like that. And this was like the first full time he could really go hardcore. And you started hearing it early in the week, Shane Hooks, Shane Hooks, Shane Hooks. Then you see the scrimmage, boom, he explodes with a couple touchdowns, several catches. I think he's your guy moving forward.
Yeah, and there were also several people that said, "Oh, he has one big catch, and everybody thinks he's great now." And once again, this is a whole body of work since he's been healthy. The first scrimmage, we were told that he kind of caught a quick slant and then made 3 guys miss for a massive game. One of the more impressive movements and moments of that first scrimmage. Then the second scrimmage, I mean, he totally took over. It was 6 catches, over 100 yards, like you said, multiple touchdowns. So yeah, you want that guy on the field. You want that guy on the field. There's no question about it.
We had a little inside. We had a guy giving us play-by-play of like, and it was literally like every series they were going to hooks. Like you got hooks catch for 5, hooks catch for 15, hooks on a dig for a 15-yard, whatever, hooks on a post. Like it was at least he had at least 7 or 8 catches, I believe, and it was
it was 6. I think he had 6.
6 catches, yeah,
I think so.
But it was just like but he only had 2 or 3 series. Like the starting offense only had like 3 or 4 series. So I don't know, man.
Can we book for a second? Can we book for 1 second? I think we already kind of are, but if he does hit 1,000 yards, Shane Hooks.
Yes.
What does that do for his legacy at Auburn?
Well, I mean, single season, like you haven't had a guy like that since Ronnie Daniels was the
99.
last. And maybe a very similar, I'd love for him to be, I hope he wouldn't be like maybe not a one and done, maybe come back and do it again. I mean, you're statistically top 2 or 3 seasons as a receiver in Auburn history. Like you gotta be up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he can come back. I think he was a grad transfer.
Okay, was he a grad? I thought he was a sophomore for some reason.
No, he's a senior. He's a grad transfer from Jackson State. Yeah.
Okay, well then go all out, man. Let's go.
Let's get a receiver drafted. Let's have a receiver transfer here and then go to the NFL.
The legacy that will build is that, oh wow, if I'm in the portal and Auburn clearly has no qualms about putting a transfer in and making him their number 1 guy. It helps on so many levels, so many levels.
Yeah, and you got to think that's going to help because your offensive line is all of that. Your tight end is a transfer that's going to start. I think you're going to have at least 1, maybe 2, possibly 3 transfers start at wide receiver, or at least get serious playing time. Your quarterback's a transfer. And so, I mean, your starting Jack linebacker is going to be a transfer. Possibly both of your starting linebackers will be transfers.
You're almost
DBs we didn't really touch. I mean, that's what we're looking at. You know what I mean? And it's like that's got to help you in December when the portal opens back up. You got to think it helps.
Oh, 100%. And you're going to have to add dudes in the portal because, like you got guys like Shane Hooks that's gone, and can you just turn it over to a Perry Thompson right off the bat, or if you end up somehow flipping Cam Coleman back way, are you ready to go? Are you ready to go with them? Is that who you trust to go in right off the bat?
Yeah. All right. So
it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Okay. The offense looks different, Charlie 5, in a good way. We'll discuss in just a moment right here on Locked On Auburn. Locked On Auburn is brought to you by BetterHelp. Mental health is important. And as time goes on, we understand more and more about it. And sometimes in life, we're faced with tough choices, and the path forward isn't always clear. Maybe you've got a lot of questions. Maybe you need to process things. And BetterHelp is the way, or a way, to certainly handle all of this. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, and it's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnCollege today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnCollege. Charlie 5, our guest today, final few minutes, and let's discuss this offense. It looks different. It looks like a college offense, a modern college offense, and it's the first time we've really been able to say that since 2013, 2014, when Gus's offense was still kind of fresh. Yeah. And it's fun. It feels good to discuss this.
One thing, Two big things that really jumped out to me that got me my bug past level 10 is Shane Hooks caught his most famous catch that was on video was on Cam Riley, a linebacker. We don't just call plays and the play just is what it is. We got a mismatch of a receiver on a linebacker. And I can't even remember the last time that I can remember that happening was in the 2010 national championship game when Emory Blake got motioned over onto the offensive linebacker, ran the out and up, and dude had no chance to cover him. Like the idea that we can get, we're going to be able to motion people, formation people to get those types of matchups. That is a real offense that excites me. That little things like that are what make you make offenses so explosive. Being able to not just run plays, but be able to take what the defense gives you, mix and match, get matchups that you can win 9 times out of 10. And that was one got me real fired up. And then 2, I said it a couple of shows ago. Okay. Jump balls, baby. Jump balls. We're throwing balls in the air in the red zone, fade routes, back shoulders. I can't wait. That got me. So I think Hooks caught one in the end zone. Cam Brown caught one. I think they threw one to Rivaldo, and it had a chance. But we're going vertical in the red zone to the end zone. I said, let's throw 4 fades and play defense. It looks like we may not run all 4, but we're going to throw the ball up in the end zone when we get in the red zone, and that is the most exciting thing that I think I could possibly imagine right now. That's my favorite playing football. It's my favorite playing football. I don't know why. I love it.
I mean, if they catch it, it's awesome. And then if it doesn't, or if it's a bad placement, then all of a sudden it's like, why'd you call that? Why are you calling that on 3rd down? So
Never.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And I think Peyton Thorne's touch in those situations are going to be, it's going to be nice. I mean, you can say a lot about Peyton. Accuracy that's his strength, is accuracy. He doesn't have the biggest arm strength, but as far as accuracy goes, I mean, that's certainly the strength of what he brings as a passer. The other thing that I think is exciting is they're building up and giving guys on the offensive line a shot, and they're moving guys around last second too. I mean, they're like 2 weeks away from the start of the season, and they're not afraid to move Gunnar Britton, a guy that they went out specifically to get to be a tackle from Western Kentucky. And they're like, we're going to move you to guard because we think it's what's best for this team to give a Xavion Miller a shot. And I actually feel like, one, development is happening because he was not ready this spring, was told like he looks so good. He's big, he's fast, he's strong, but he's just raw. And from that, the first or second week of spring, when I was told that, to where we are now. And I mean, developing offensive linemen at Auburn, is this what's happening right now?
So usually we're having the conversations of how can we hide the deficiency on the offensive line.
We have too many guys.
And now the conversation is, how can we rearrange it because our 6th man right now we can't keep him off the field. Like, how can we make our second string tackle is so good? How can we get him on the field? We got we're not hiding anybody. We don't have it's how can you maximize what you have right now?
Yeah. I
don't remember the last time I've ever had, I can't remember the last time I've had that conversation, maybe 2013. And maybe I can't remember a real weakness, maybe right tackle on that team. But like now it's like, we don't even have, you feel like you don't necessarily have, it's not so much you don't have a weakness, but it's like you've got all these dudes that you can play. And it's like you're trying to solve the Rubik's Cube or something. You're trying to figure out the magical formula to get the most output. And you got multiple guys you can do that with. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. We're not trying to hide a hole we have in our line, surround a bad player with a bunch of – we're trying to figure out how many, the right like I said, the right formula to make it all go even better. It's such a cool conversation to have and see play out. It's I don't know. It's very exciting. You did it in one off season.
And I just love the future now. This offensive line with Xavier Miller, with Dylan Cinda, the Northwestern transfer that was with the twos pretty consistently after he was here for like more than a week. So that's exciting.
Oh yeah.
Connor Liu is going to be a part of this team. Jaden Muskrat, I think, was brought in kind of specifically to be a depth piece this year, then start next year. I mean, it's just the future of the offensive line. Like, there's actually a plan, and it's a good situation. It's a good situation to be in. Charlie 5, how can people check out everything you've got going on and give you some love, buddy?
Absolutely. Find me on Twitter at @the_Charlie_5 in the Locked On Auburn Discord every single day. AuburnLive.com, the corner message board, or weekly on the Dad Bod Golf Pod.
Yes, you can follow me on socials at Zac Blackerby. I usually make a lot of Ole Miss people mad every single day if you're into that sort of thing. Also, you can check out all my written work at auburndaily.com. We will see you tomorrow. This has been Locked On Auburn.